From Cornwall to Birmingham and Johnston and Bexhill, here's Ruben Spire on the radio.
Hello to Misty Lemmond. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for catching again. Been here 12 months, so I thought I'd had a catch-up interview with you. So, go back to where we first started being a piano player. So, how long have you been a piano player for?
For about 30 years since I was a little girl. A long
So,
time.
a long time. So, what made you start playing the piano?
It was actually gifted to me for my eighth or ninth birthday. My mom and grandmother surprised me with it. I came home from school one day and there was this piano in my living room that was not there when I left for school that morning. And I was like, whoa, a piano. And they told me, well, you have your first piano lesson this afternoon. And they took me down to the local mall and where there was this piano shop. And I met my piano teacher and it started. I didn't look back.
Kept on playing all them years. So what was it like going into the recording studio when you first released your debut album called The Sound of the Feelings?
Oh, it was so exciting, you know. I had been in the studio before with choirs, or I had another time when I had recorded a demo like eons ago, but it was a different feeling going in there as a professional and recording my own music for an album. It's just a very surreal feeling. I don't know how to explain it. It's just really, really cool, you know. And then when you walk out of the studio and you've learned so many things about recording and how you have to go through the process of making sure everything is mixed, it is just, it's the product that you walk out with is just really neat.
So can you tell me more about the Messiah's Love?
About which one?
The Messiah's Love?
Oh, yes. I composed that song about 5 years ago, about 4 years ago. And I on every album, I generally like to showcase my faith. I mean, I wouldn't be where I'm at without God and His guidance in my life. And so with the Messiah's Love, it literally came about one day. I sat down at my piano after just having a rough day, and I just wanted to talk to God, and I wanted God to feel closer to me. And I sat there and I meditated on Christ's love for me. And it was soothing and it helped me. Um, it helps you get through when you've had a tough day. And I sat there as I was just praying and meditating on God's love. Um, the my hands just started playing on the piano keys. It was as if that song was already there and I had composed it in one sitting in about 30 minutes. And it was literally my prayer to God, but literally through sound, if that makes sense. It's difficult to explain. But I remember sitting down and playing it as if it already existed. It was effortless. It was incredible. And I thought, wow, I need to record this on my phone so I don't forget it. And so I was able to play it again straight through effortlessly. It was wild. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to call this song The Messiah's Love because I was literally just praying. I'd had a bad day, and this song just came out through my fingertips on the keys as if it already existed. And I I composed it, I saved it, recorded it to my phone, and when I got into the studio, I added it to the album. And ironically, I believe it's ended up becoming the most played song on that album, which just fascinates me.
You
So,
should be, you should be very proud of that.
yeah.
So, does it take you long to compose a piece of music?
Not usually. I mean, yes, I will have moments where I have what I call writer's block, where it's just difficult to get in the creative mindset. But usually, if I feel the urge to be creative and sit down at the piano and compose a song, it'll come out, you know. Sometimes, like with the Messiah's Love, you know, I can compose a song within like 30 minutes. Other times, it can take me a few days, but it's never taken me weeks or months to compose a song. It usually only takes me just a few days of playing it over and over and over. Do I like this sound? Do I not like this sound? And just kind of experimenting with the sounds over a few days. And then obviously I'll spend months playing it over and over, perfecting it. But the initial composition of the piece, it doesn't take me long. Not by ear. Now, when I have to notate the music, that takes me a while because you have to proofread the musical notation and make sure that it's correct with what you have composed by ear. But for me, composing by ear is has always come naturally to me. Um, it's I do it for stress relief, so it works for me.
So, what kind of a piano do you play on at your home?
I have two upright pianos. One is a classical piano. It's just a Yamaha upright classical piano. Then I have an older, from the American South, we call it a honky tonk piano. It's it's ideally not a piano that you want to practice on for classical pieces, but it's good for like pop pieces or country pieces, you know, things like that. And then obviously I have a piano keyboard behind me here. You can't see it, but just a Yamaha piano keyboard that I'll practice on. If I don't want to bug anyone in the household, I'll put my headphones on with my keyboard and I'll work on my music with that as well. So three pianos. I wish I had a grand piano someday. Maybe Santa Claus will gift it for me this Christmas, but um, two upright pianos and a keyboard.
So the piano is on your Santa's list.
Yes, it is on my Santa's list, and I have been a good girl this year. So I hope it ends up under the Christmas tree. That would be great.
So, can you tell me more about the Wilderness Years album they released?
Oh yes, I kind of think of it as my forgotten album a little bit. Um, that might be my fault because I didn't do as much marketing on it, but it's my second album, and with it, I wanted honestly to compose songs that had a little bit of a darker sound to it, um, but was very spiritual and religious in the process. The album itself, the reason I named it The Wilderness Years is for me, it relates to a time in my life where I was just going through a lot of stuff. And each song represents those emotions that I felt walking through my valley and how I, you know, had to rely on God to get me through each scenario, each difficult time that I would go through. Now, I do have one or two good songs in there that are not so like, oh, this is depressing. But I wanted to capture my journey through the valley with that album and show how even when you go through difficult times and difficult seasons in your life, that you can find beauty in it as well. There's beauty in the music. There is beauty in the journey and in the steps that you take. Because when you get to the end of that, like the very last song on that album, it's called Goodbye to Yesterday. And it's like, okay, I've walked through this wilderness, this dark season of my life, and now I'm on the other side of it, and I'm finished with it. I've got through it. It's okay. So that album, even down to the art, it's a little bit darker. Um, I call it my dark religious album because, it, like I said, it represents a darker season. And it's one of my favorite albums personally. I think on the album, my favorite song on there would be a song called Regeneration, and that's after you're starting to like rebuild yourself after you've gone through a lot of stuff. So, yeah, I'd like to encourage you to listen to it.
So, as we're in the Christmas season now, could you tell me more about your Christmas album that released called Christmas at the Piano?
Yes, now that album has actually become my most popular one. That has been a shocker to me. Um, the the favorite song by most on there, and even mine personally, is "Joy to the World," and it's been incredible. The album itself is comprised of my arrangements of Christmas hymns. I have, Joy to the World, Silent Night, Away in a Manger. We live in this day and time where we're used to hearing the secular Christmas songs that we all love and enjoy, like, I'll Be Home for Christmas, Jingle Bells, those classic songs. But I really have this passion for making sure we don't lose those classic hymns and the classic Christmas hymns, that they're just getting as other musicians like myself keep coming up with newer music, new Christmas music, those older Christmas hymns are getting pushed further and further back. And I thought it would just really be a cool idea to refresh some of these Christmas hymns and just add some flourish to them and just bring them back to life. So Joy to the World is actually getting a lot of plays and streams right now. I'm blown away by it and I'm thankful for it. It's amazing.
So, can you tell me more about the little challenge I set you about your album that released called Yours Truly?
Oh yes. Well, that album came about with the challenge you gave me last year. Um, I think you had mentioned the challenge to me, was it early December, late November? And that challenge was if I can put out 14 songs by February 14th for Valentine's Day. And I accepted the challenge. And so I got to work and I started, composing pieces, putting them together. I got the album put out by February 14th, but I didn't get 14 songs. I believe I had 10 to 11 songs on it. But it's still a sweet album. I especially love it that the album art is pink. but the album itself is just a collection of sweet love songs. They're just sweet. Um, some of them are fun and some of them are sweet. And the most played song on that album is A Love Like Doris, which actually I had written. My grandmother had asked me to write a song for her. And so it was in that little time frame when they knew I had that challenge to get that album out. I dedicated that song to her and named it after her because her name is Doris. So yeah, that was a fun challenge. I enjoyed that, and I had a fun time in the studio making that one too. That was fun.
So, can you tell me more about your latest album, which is going to be released on the 28th of December this year, 2024? It's called the Worship at the Piano.
Yes. Let's see. On December 28th, I have my first worship album coming out. Jesus Paid It All, Worship at the Piano. My single, Jesus Paid It All, is out now. This album, um, it's a collection of my arrangements of old hymns. like really old hymns, with the exception of the very first song on it. It's my original composition, Let's Praise God. That's my original composition, but my goal for this album was to bring back to life some of those older hymns, um, that seem to be just getting lost, especially in younger generations. You know, when a lot of the younger folks, when they go to church, they hear a lot of the contemporary Christian music stuff, and they don't hear some of those older hymns that our parents and grandparents and even us, when we were younger, they might have listened to, when they would go to church, or they would hear them. Um, but at the same time, I composed tidbits to each of my arrangements, to each hymn, because I wanted to make it sound new and unique, but still hold true to that original melody, so that someone could hear it. Oh yeah, this is Amazing Grace. Um, I recognize that hymn, or this is Crown Him with Many Crowns. You know, just to kind of revive it and keep those hymns with us. So that I was excited when uh I learned throughout the music that this is my first album that's classified as gospel, but I don't sing in it, but it was just really cool. It's like I'm a classical pianist, and this album has been categorized as gospel. It was just really cool. I get excited over little things like that, So I'm curious to see how maybe this album, encourages other people, um, how how it how it could build up the church, or how it could help someone, in their spiritual walk, or you know, I'm just excited about it. I think it's a beautiful album. And I do have, um, while the single that's out now, Jesus Paid It All, is it's a slow hymn. I do have some faster pace, faster tempo songs on there that really reflect the American South. You get on, you sit at the piano, and then everybody wants to get up and move around and dance and worship God too. I wanted to put a little bit of that influence in some of these songs, not to pull away from my classical music training, but just to show what else I can do with the piano, and at the same time bring glory to God, and like just I wanted an overall different album that brought life again to these classic hymns.
So, is there any music plans for next year?
Oh yes, I have music plans that are cooking up. I'm hoping with this new album, there are several churches that are wanting me to come and play some of these songs. Um, I'm also planning on every spring there is a Make Music Day. I'm pretty sure it's worldwide, but I have plans to go play, on stage in downtown Huntsville for that. Um, we have a huge park in Huntsville that's called Big Spring Park, and every year there are music festivals and such that go on there. So I have lots of stuff in the works, and maybe this time next year I'll have another album come out. But right now I haven't thought much about that. I'm just trying to get performances lined up. So I'm excited.
What about a country album? That'd be good.
When you can listen to this upcoming album, you'll hear some country, a little bit of country twinges in it, especially when you hear my original composition on Let's Praise God. There's a little bit of old school country in there, piano wise. My grandfather would be proud because he was a country pianist. He did country music. So if he were still with us, he would be proud right now. But yeah, we'll see.
Another challenge for you.
Yeah, that would be a change. Misty, this classical musician, puts out a country album. Why not?
Why not? Put your skills to the test.
Yes, it'd be fun. I love challenges.
So, can you tell me, what's it like being an independent artist that you are?
I like it. I love that, as an independent artist, you can choose what songs you put out. You can choose what message you want to give. You can control your image, how you want the world to see you. There's no one dictating to you what you can and can't do when it comes to representing yourself and representing your music. Um, there's just a lot of freedom in it. I love it.
So, finally, can you tell me, listeners, where can I find you on your social media?
Oh, yes, I am most active on Facebook, which is Misty Lemmond, pianist and composer. You can also find me on Instagram, Misty Lemmond. Um, Twitter, I'm on there, or X. Just look up Misty Lemmond. Um, that's pretty much it. You can find me on YouTube. Again, Misty Lemmond, pianist and composer. Which I need to work on that a little bit. I need to add some more videos. I've been neglecting it just a little bit, but I am on YouTube. You can find me. Um, but yeah, I'm most active on my Facebook.
Thank you, let me chat to you again.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's been nice.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
And hope you had a great Christmas with your family.
Yes, you too. Have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you, and I think I'll chat to you again and say goodbye.
All right. All right. We'll talk to you later. Have a good day.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.